my.
Yeah. Today we're going to continue where we left off, working on Jeff's black 300ZX. For those of you who don't know, a former police officer reached out to me and wanted to offer up his 300ZX for parts. He's been following along the build series of my green 300ZX here and noticed that I needed a bunch of interior trim, and additionally he wanted the parts to go into this white Z that my brother is building. However, once we picked up the car and took a good look at it, we realized we might be able to just bring this thing back to life and restore it. So that's where we're going to continue today. We've taken in this car as an opportunity to restore something back to its former glory rather than parting it out. Although yes, these parts could go to really good use on our project cars, but to me there's something more satisfying about bringing a car back to life. Now where we left off in the last video is taking off the intake manifold after we tried to start the car. Unfortunately, we found out 5 out of the 6 injectors were shorted, and somehow, some way, it was only running on 1 cylinder. And pulling the intake manifold on the 300ZX is no easy task. Those of you who have done it know that it's a pain, especially when it's got all the factory hoses still. But I figured while we have the intake manifold off, I should go pick up some spare valve covers and get everything freshly coated. That way when we put it back together, it'll be nice and clean. So let's go on a quick parts run in the 300ZX, which also I wanted to pick up a hood from Andrew he's been working on. And this hood also came from Jeff. So huge shout out to Jeff. This has been a fun project. And the best way to transport a hood is taking the hood off the car and just putting the new one on it. Let's take this one off and go visit Mr. Andrew. So Andrew has just finished restoring and refreshing this hood. Flames are sick. Did you have to tape all of this and
Yeah, I taped all of it and I did the little transparent.
Yeah, dude, the transparency is sweet in between the flames.
Yeah, it fits really well with the flame. So much better than when you first brought it in.
Yeah, when I dropped it off, it was completely flaking apart. The clear coat was half missing.
Yeah, I completely stripped all the clear off and then we sprayed it.
Such a good job. I knew Andrew was the guy to restore it. He's the body master. But dude, let's see it on the car. I'm so excited. Wow, that transformed the car tremendously. From junkyard matte black hood to carbon hood with flames. It's crazy.
It's way better than I pictured, dude.
Dude, it's so cool. That's so sweet. Should I put the nose panel on to complete the front, you think?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like clear.
Oh my god, dude. That's so cool.
Dude, I'm so happy with how it turned out.
1 of 1.
Oh, truly.
Andrew's a wizard, dude.
He is a wizard, all right.
I can't believe he faded the carbon in like that.
Yeah. Super cool.
Oh my god, this thing's gonna be so cool painted.
All right, so we did the valve covers in this bronze look. Felt like this would look really good against the black, plus against the chrome intake manifold. Yeah, this looks pretty sweet. Then I did the balance tube in classic black. Now we are a ways away from putting the intake manifold back on, considering we still have to take off the valve covers, replace the valve cover gaskets. And also I wanted to take off these water hard pipe tubes. These are for the heater core in the back here. And they have all these extra fittings, and I'm planning to delete them. So instead of just capping them off, because capping them off means it could break loose again and leak, because rubber always has a time limit, I plan to just shave them and then weld them shut, which means I gotta take them out of the car and try and get all the bolts out. Plus there's an EGR thing back there that I also wanna remove while we're here. My main goal here is to not ever have to take off the intake manifold ever again. One and done type of thing. So we're just gonna do as many deletes as possible. I think before I do the valve covers and put nice and clean, shiny stuff on here, we'll do these hard pipes first, because that'll be a mess. Right now I'm trying to get off this bolt that holds on a bracket for this coolant pipe all the way over here. So when I shake this, I thought I got all the bolts off, but there's still one all the way back here somewhere. Oh, you can see it down there. all I can think about while working on the engine in this car is I would hate to be a technician in the 90s when these things would go in, because I'm sure they had some issues here and there, like random coolant leaks or any type of oil leak. Like, where do you start? There's so many parts of this engine. So many hard lines on the back of the heads. It's crazy. I got the bolt off, but I still can't get the pipe out. I can tell you one thing, that bolt and bracket is not gonna go back on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's no way, not a chance this is going back on. I'm gonna just shave this piece off, shave that piece off, and then it'll just be a hard pipe. I'm gonna have to do the same thing for this side as well. And figure out what's going on with the air vent behind the valve cover here. I had to tear that off to get to that one bolt. I think there's another hard, oh yeah, see when I wiggle that, it moves this piece. So this all has to come off too. That's somehow tied into all this. And then you get this EGR out somehow. This is one of the EGR tubes. There's another one on that side too. It's crazy. These engine bays are jam-packed with stuff. We're just gonna simplify it as much as possible. Before I take off these two heater core lines, I wanna take a picture of how the orientation is supposed to be, because this is gonna be quite confusing when I put it back together. Plus, look at the corrosion on this hard pipe. That's disgusting. I'll have to clean all this up. I was able to get off these heater core hoses. Now we have a lot more access in here, except I can't see where the bolts are for this hard pipe. Looks like it rotates all the way down, and it looked like this braided one was attached to it, but really that goes in between it to this EGR valve. So then I was like, all right, let's try and take that off. And check this out. You can just barely see the head of the bolt down there, and you can't even fit a socket and ratchet over it. Hopefully we can get it with just the wrench. Oh, what? It hits the top of the valve? Oh man. So I got the two bolts off. Gotta admit, it probably took me over 25 minutes, but I'm having this issue now where they don't even come all the way out. They hit the firewall. That's crazy. And I can't even get the whole port off because apparently there's another tube that connects to it. I just looked up a picture too to see where these bolts were, and man, they're tucked inside. Let's see if we can get them. All right, I made a stop at my house and picked up my Sawzall because I might have to trim away some of these pipes and fittings so I can get access to getting all the bolts off. I can't believe how tight it is in here. It's so crammed. So the plan of attack here is going to be trying to cut off that pipe that goes into the EGR port. I can wiggle it right here, actually. You can see the whole thing move. Luckily, we got the other side off. That's the port right there. And then there's one more hard pipe right here behind it. This goes all the way down to the exhaust manifold. So we're going to just chop that off because there's no way this rusty fitting is going to come loose. Plus, there's no way I can fit a wrench in there like that. Let's see if we got it free. It looks like it. Oh, sweet. One of the EGR ports done for. I guess we don't really need to remove these bolts. They'll just come out with the whole unit, but we do need to grind off this pipe next. Okay, I think I got it. Let's see, moment of truth. Oh, this is how it looks from the backside. How would you get these off? There's no way. Somehow I was able to access those bolts. That, yeah, see, there's no way that was gonna come loose. Not a chance. It's got some weight to it too. Uh-oh, looks like I may have cut into that hard pipe a little bit. But that's okay, because we have to shave all these nipples off anyways and weld those shut, so I'll just repair that when we're doing that. I will have to remove the rest of this exhaust port from the bottom of the car at some point too. But hopefully we can get to these bolts now. Oh, I can actually feel the back of it, so that's good. I can feel the head of both. Tight spot, but less tight now. Can actually get to it. All right, here's the last bolt. Should just come off. Ugh, what is that? Looks like there's no gasket. Shouldn't say no gasket, but no slide-on gasket, if that makes sense. You can just use adhesive for this one. It looks like it could have been an O-ring, but no, that's adhesive for sure. That was on the back of the head. Crazy. We might as well take this EGR port out too the rest of the way. Oh, and all these hard lines. These are the ones I was struggling with. I ended up just cutting it in half and just taking it out. Let's just remove all the junk while we're here because it's satisfying. There we go. Imagine you put it all back together and you have a pinhole leak in this tiny hose. Are you kidding me? You'd have to pull the intake manifold off just to get to it. And even then, you can barely even access it. Crazy. Got these hard pipes prepped to be welded. Cleaned up the surface for the gasket too while I was at it. And I tried my best to get the corrosion off the end here. Looks a lot better. I'm not too sure what heat I'm gonna need to use, so I might do a practice run on this tube. Start low, we'll start with 2. Probably around 35 wire speed. Now normally I would probably try and paint these black, but I think in this case I'm gonna paint them silver. This stuff you can use to make aluminum finish look brand new. Now yeah, this is not aluminum, but honestly I kind of want to go for more of the OEM look. Even though the valve covers aren't going to be the OEM color, I don't know. Just trying to keep some of this stuff OEM style. And on top of that, we're not even going to see it, so I guess it doesn't really matter. This is really just protecting it from rust since we got all that galvanized coating off of it. Also made sure to tape up each side. That way paint doesn't get inside of it. Plus you don't really want paint where you're going to be mounting it to the car and also to the hoses. These are looking pretty sweet. Now, while we let them dry, I'm going to run to the store so we can get the sealant for it. We got the stuff, although I need to clean up the mounting surface on the engine still. And if you're wondering what the noise is, got a whole work crew out here. Apparently they're about to dig a ditch right around here, and then also through the center and all the way down there, because I guess the water drainage wasn't correct and maybe it was pooling somewhere. So they're trying to connect all these pipes. So that'll be fun. They're gonna dig that right now, right here, while I'm wrenching on the Z. The directions say to apply the sealant and then install it lightly, but let it sit for an hour before you torque it all the way down to spec. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. And man, these turned out pretty nice. While the coolant pipes are drying, I think I can start doing the valve covers. So obviously we're gonna need to take them off, but it looks like there's some mounts that are still connected to it. I'm gonna remove these and see what sensors this is and maybe even delete it. There's like 3 or 4 vacuum lines going to and from it. Oh, there's something over here too. These cars are full of surprises. But this already looks way more simple back here and I love that. It's been about an hour, so I'll tighten these down all the way. Does anyone happen to know what the solenoid is even for? I'll show it better when I take it out. It's got a whole bunch of lines on it. Like, what is this? 3 vacuum lines? I can tell you this much, that's not going back in. Just add that to the pile. Looks like we have a vacuum line that goes from here, trace it up through this hard line, tees off here into a solenoid on this side as well, goes into another solenoid over here that has yet another vacuum line, and this I'm pretty sure bridged over to the hard line that we took off that maybe goes to the other solenoid. Yeah, this is all getting removed. Wonder what that was for. Oh, maybe that was for the AC. Man, I hate that all of these connectors have these metal pins on them. Makes it so hard to get off. I do plan to keep the cruise control in this car. I'm not even sure if it works still or not, but just for clean sake, I'm gonna take it out because once we have everything put together, I wanna scrub down the bay and make it nice and clean. You can see how crusty it's looking right now. Ugh. I find it very interesting that I'm using a screwdriver to remove the valve covers, and this is only the top 2 valve covers. Nissan decided to make 4 separate valve covers for the VG30 to cover each cam, surprisingly enough. Then I'm pretty sure this middle plate comes off, like the spark plug tube holes, so we'll have to clean that up because I didn't get an extra one of these to powder coat. But I think it's weird that Nissan did leave the bottom 2 covers just in a raw finish. The top 2 look like they were coated black factory, but yeah, it's kind of strange. Pretty interesting, especially using a screwdriver here. Why'd they do that? And then these have regular 10mm heads. While I'm taking off these valve covers, I just want to take a second to thank you guys for supporting the channel just by watching it. So again, this would all not be possible without you guys, so thank you so much. Just want to let you guys know I appreciate you. Your likes and comments on the videos help them grow and reach new audiences, so I really appreciate that as well. And I can't forget to thank the members of the channel. You guys are the backbone to the channel. Let's see how this piece comes up. Ah, okay, interesting. You guys have no idea how hyped I am to not put these crusty valve covers back on. All right. It looks like a piece of the valve cover gasket just fell off. Oh, that's how crusty it is. I bet this is original. That's insane. It's supposed to be rubber. All right, let's pop off this next cover. Oh, I'm so excited. This is not going back on the car. You have no idea. This looks disgusting. I want to try and take this off without flipping all these crusties in here. I don't think this lower valve cover uses a gasket like this upper one did. I'm pretty sure they just use RTV or something. Ooh, that's crusty. Yeah, look at all that. All the goodies. Now, this probably would have made a lot more sense to do first, but I need to take off the fuel rail. And I also need to take out all these old injectors because we're gonna replace all of them. Because in the last video, we determined only one of them was working. Okay, so far I got one of the screws out. These are known to strip out. Again, don't know why they use screws here. Oh, got it. Guess I'll just start with taking all the caps off. Oh, that one's starting to strip. And that one came off. This was the one that was good, the only good one. Now, a couple of these screws did strip coming out, but that's all right. The vice grip helped it break loose the rest of the way. I've heard that this is a difficult step, trying to pull them out. We're gonna test our luck. I think if I just wiggle them first, left and right, that'll help. I wonder what the sensor port is for. There's a one prong over here. And maybe that's for a temperature on the fuel rail. It's pretty interesting. Oh my gosh. How's that look? Oof. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta get in there. You just gotta get in there sometimes. This is the good one. Try and be nice with it. Oh, this dude's OEM for sure. Still has a Nissan logo on it. Oh. All the injectors are free. Oh, this one has a different color O-ring on it. Might as well replace all of these little O-ring seals while we're here. Oh yeah, they're all torn. Good thing we did that. Check these bad boys out. Oh my goodness. Toast. Not bad. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, these were all cooked. And you can see the uneven carbon deposits in here. Them seals were definitely going bad. It's a little dark under the valve covers, but the cam lobes look healthy, so I can't really complain here. Looks like each spark plug has dielectric grease on it. That's very nice. Curious to see how those things look. I do have some new ones to throw on. Let's get those new valve covers ready to throw on. So before I install new parts, I always like to compare them to the old parts, especially if they're not the exact ones that came off the car. So I laid out these crusty ones and we got the new ones all freshly powder coated. I went with a slightly bronze color because I felt like it would flow well with the chrome-ish intake manifold style. And honestly, anything can really match with black at that point. And I didn't want to do them silver because if the intake manifold is a light silver or chrome, that would kind of not really flow too well. Gotta have something to break it up, you know? But these all look the same, which is good. I'm gonna probably need to order this hose because I don't have that one. And then we're gonna reuse these, so I gotta clean these Johnnies up. They're all crusty. And these lower ones do take RTV, so I'm gonna need to apply some RTV. But this one takes a gasket. Let me make sure I have the right gasket. Let's see what we got in the parts bin. All that stuff we gotta pack together. Here we go. Got some idle air control valve hoses. What else we got? Oh, throttle body gaskets. Again, OEM stuff. The gaskets I got OEM, even the spark plugs I got OEM, but I did get different style hoses for the heater core. I do like the silicone hoses a lot more than the traditional style, so these will be kind of nice. They're nice and black, nothing crazy, no crazy colors. And here's our valve cover gasket kit. It even comes with RTV. Nice. Let's go get that RTV cooking, and man, I cannot wait to put this intake manifold on. Looks so sick. But I can't forget, I need to clean up all of this surface first where the gasket's gonna mount. Looks like some of that RTV still remained on this one. Well, that took longer than I would have liked to admit, but we got the heads all nice and prepped, all cleaned up. I even took out the half moon in here and cleaned all that gunk out. Luckily, this kit came with new half moons, so that's good. All right, now I'll finally apply this adhesive that I've been talking about doing. Ultra Gray Gasket Maker, high torque. Got the half moon installed in the back. Got this gasket on here. I guess gasket material. Oh, that's gonna look sweet. Let's get the hardware. Sweet. These covers are looking sick. It kind of reminds me of how my brother's Z was back in the day. When we did his valve cover gaskets on his black 300ZX, we actually painted the valve covers a similar shade of this bronze. That's ultimately why I wanted to do this again, because his Z was black as well. It's kind of reminding me of his car now, in those old times that we had together. Just finishing up torquing these down. It's such a lovely evening. The weather's perfect. The sun is no longer beating on me. It's looking pretty sick. There's a lot less clutter in here already. We still need to put on those spark plug tubes. I think that's what they're called. Let's clean this thing up. It's so nasty still. Luckily it's plastic. Well, I guess not luckily, but it will wipe up really easily. Got these things cleaned up pretty good. There are some rubber grommets that go on the bottom here. All right, ready to go back in. Can't forget the oil cap. Definitely need to find something to spice it up. Stock cap is okay, but I don't know. I've been a fan of custom caps lately. Man, I'm very proud of how far we came today. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to see more. This is only possible because of you guys. Thank you. Peace.